Hello, beautiful, beautiful black people. I hope that all is well in your world. And this day was a very, very successful day, a very good day for you and all of your wonderful, wonderful loved ones. My beautiful black brothers and sisters, know that there have been thus far 50,000 cases of COVID-19 infections of black folks, people that look like me, right here on this plantation called America. That is more than 2/3 of the number of white folks. That is more than 2/3 the number of white folks. Also know that there are still coons among us. Remember the name Herschel Walker. He used to be a professional football player. Herschel Walker. Tim Scott, U.S. Senator Tim Scott. Two of the ultimate coons are among us. Speaking at the Republican convention, defending Trump, being used by Trump, being manipulated by Trump, just to keep safe the niche within that white racist power machine that a few black folks, coons and coonettes, have carved out for themselves. It is pathetic. Remember the name Herschel Walker and U.S. Senator Tim Scott. As a black person, you learned from an early age, as a black person, right here on this plantation called America, you must learn from an early age where your place in the world is. Your family and your community may do what they can to nurture and protect you from racism. But racism contaminates all aspects of American life. Racism contaminates all aspects of American life. In the third grade, I asked my dad, a true story. I asked my dad home to suggest that I wasn't equal to my peers. I asked my dad at our home, why do white folks propagate that we are not equal to our white peers? And yes, that is the message that black children receive after they are born. when they go to school, preschool, kindergarten, grade school, watching television, reading, looking at pictures, black children are sent a message that they are not equal to their white counterparts. And that cloud of inferiority will follow us until we die. That cloud of inferiority will follow us until we die. When you go to school with black children for the first time, you feel relieved that you are surrounded by other folks that look like you. You are elated that you are in an environment with people that look like you. You may sometimes think it's insignificant, but try going to school when you are surrounded by nothing but white folks. It's an entirely different environment. It's an entirely different set of emotions, my beautiful, intelligent black brothers and sisters. Being around people that look like you, that look like us, is a form of social validation, my beautiful, intelligent black brothers and sisters. Here in the US of A, we have to grapple with our identity as a black person every day, because racist white folks create and propagate negative conditions, negative narratives, stereotypes about black folks every day of our lives. Hence is why we find so many disparities in health care for black folks. The fact that such health care disparities exist should not be surprising. You must understand that black folks are viewed by this white racist society. You must remember how black folks are viewed by racist white folks. We are devalued. We are devalued. Therefore, racist white folks place many obstacles in our way, from discrimination in housing to higher rates of incarceration, just to name a few. It is only made that sense stronger, called systemic racism. You find it even in our healthcare system. But the differences in healthcare outcomes aren't just a matter of access. Though many people assume that to be the case, while studying while studying and doing research, I learned that black women are up to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications from than their white counterparts. Black women are up to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than their white counterparts, regardless of the black person's socioeconomic factors. Their rates of maternal morbidity or lasting consequences from a complication during pregnancy are also higher. This points to healthcare bias and inappropriate treatment of black women based on the color of their skin. Racism is everywhere in all aspects of life right here on this plantation called America. One of the most famous examples is Serena Williams. The legendary athlete had a history of blood clots. So when she began experiencing shortness of breath after giving birth to her daughter, she worried she had another pulmonary embolism. She was concerned. She asked for a CT scan, but the hospital staff resisted. Serena Williams begged them to reconsider. And when they finally agreed to the CT scan, they discovered several blood clots in her lungs. Williams is one of the most influential black women in the world, and still she could have died because white folks did not believe her. White folks did not value her health nor her life. And the evidence of racial bias isn't purely anecdotal either. There was a 2016 study that found that roughly half of white medical students held false belief that could influence the way they treat black patients with pain. Because these ignorant white bastards still believe that black folks do not experience as severe pain as white folks do. These white folks actually believe that black people's skin is thicker than white people's skin. For example, or black people's nerve endings are less sensitive. If a doctor feels that way, how can we trust that they would give a black patient the appropriate dose of pain medication or order them a CT scan? That's how pervasive this racial bias is in our society, and the consequences can be the death of black folks, people that look like me. A 2016 study found that roughly half of white medical students had these false beliefs that black folks do not experience pain, etc., etc. Now, I don't mean to suggest that these white doctors, that any non-black doctors, are incapable of providing quality care to black patients. But I also know that white folks see the world through their cultural lens. That's how they see the world, which is why it is so essential that there be diversity in medicine. Not just racial diversity, but also gender identity, sexual orientation, and ethnic backgrounds, my beautiful, intelligent black brothers and sisters. That is the way I interpret this bullshit that we get from white folks. Yes, the color, the skin pigmentation of your medical doctor can save your life, or the skin pigmentation of your medical doctor can take your life. Be careful, my beautiful, intelligent black brothers and sisters. Systemic racism is everywhere. It affects us in all aspects of our lives. And white folks, remember, white folks see us through a cultural lens. They have been socially engineered through that cultural lens from birth to devalue us, to believe all of these lies and bullshit about black folks. That's all I have on this one.